Hey babes, and welcome to Crystal Pisces Studios. I'm Marley. I am your crystal/makeup creatrix. So today I wanted to go over some basic things with crystals, like Crystal 101, that I've learned over the years of me dealing with crystals. From how do you pick the crystal for you, to how do you cleanse and charge your crystals, to connecting and empowering your crystal to do the work that you need it to do. So stay tuned, make sure that you follow, subscribe, and check me out. First things first, how do you pick the right crystal for you? So a lot of the times when I go to different metaphysical stores, whether I'm looking for myself, looking for a client, or anything like that, I like to make sure that I go in within a meditative state. So it is important for me to have a very calm mind and walk in with the intention of finding the crystal for what I need. Next, once I'm entering into the place that I'm picking out crystals, wherever that is, I like to take a once over of all of the crystals. So I look at all of the crystals that there are there and see if there's any particular crystal that will call out to me. So when I say call out, I mean, is there one that seems to be brighter than the other, or that my eye is drawn to almost immediately or continuously, always going back to that one crystal? And if that is the case, then I know that maybe there's something or some properties in that crystal that I need, if not now, maybe in the nearest future. So once I have that crystal locked in target, and a lot of times when you go to different metaphysical stores, they'll have a whole bunch in like a little jar. What I then like to do is take the whole jar, kind of feel around the jar and see if there's a crystal that is warmer or cooler than the other, or if there's one that has a really cool design that I'm drawn to. So I like to look at each crystal in its individuality and then move that way. So sometimes some crystals are like, I like odd things in crystals. So if there's like a random line or dot or a different characteristic that's not necessarily of characteristic of that particular crystal, then I will basically be like, yeah, that's the one for me. But a lot of times I like to spend some time with the crystal, and there are some people that I know who use pendulums to pick out their crystals, or other different modalities to pick their crystals as well. I am a very hands-on type of person, and so for me it's all about the energy that I receive from that crystal when I'm picking it out. So like, I can almost hear them because I'm clairaudient, and I can hear them saying me. So it's, for me, it's a different experience. But like, I like to hold them in my least dominant hand and receive the information from the crystal. If I receive anything, then maybe I know that that's the crystal for me. So it's all about spending time. So that's why the meditative state is so important in the beginning, before you even walk into the space where the crystals are, because you want to make sure that you are of clear and sound mind. Okay, so now we have our crystals. Now we're at home. So what now, Mar? What do we do now, Mar? Next thing you want to do before you even begin working with your crystals is you want to clear them. And so you can clear your crystals a couple of different ways. Some of my favorite ways of clearing crystals are through sound vibrations. I also like to clear my crystals with salt, by placing them in salt. I like to clear my crystals with water, with smudging, whether it be sage or any other type of herbs that you like to burn or clear, but also using candle, like the fire from the candle. I do like to clear energy that way as well. It really just depends on the type of energy that I initially want that crystal to have at the ending process. A couple of other things that I wanted to point out when it comes to like clearing with water. If you recently have a batch of like moon water, that works really well. If you have like well water, that's also a really good alternative. I try to stay away from using tap water when I'm doing any clearing crystals, simply because I want the minerals from the natural spring water of the earth, and you want that in your practice. So that's what I use in my practice. Also, moon water is the bomb, depending on like what moon phase it was in and what the crystal is. That could be a whole thing, and we'll go into more depth at a later time. But just know moon water is definitely a great alternative to just tap water. Also, rainwater. So definitely, some places illegal. A little bit of white rainwater, depending on what kind of rain it was. So like if it was like a very aggressive rain, or was it a light rain? Remember that the energy of the rain also gets into the water. So it depends on what you're trying to do in your practice, also the type of rain that you could use. So you can also clear your crystals with sunlight and moonlight. Those are also really great ways to cleanse and clear your crystals. I personally like to let my crystals sit out. There are a few crystals that I do not recommend that you sit out in sunlight, and I will post those right in here. So citrine, amethyst are definitely a few I would not recommend that you use in sunlight. Also, when it comes to clearing your crystals in water, I do not recommend that you use that you put satin spar or gypsum, or which is all considered selenite. So selenite varieties, whatever the variety is, whether it be gypsum or satin spar, definitely do not recommend that you put them in any type of water whatsoever, because they will demineralize. And if you live by a body of water like an ocean or a lake, take your crystals out to those places, because there's nothing more cleansing than giving your crystals back to the earth to be cleansed. And that's one of the things that I love to do, is giving it back to the earth. So you can also clean and clear your crystals by placing them inside of soil, so into the earth. You can recharge your crystals that way as well, and cleanse. So now we have learned how to cleanse our crystals, and now they are ready to be programmed and empowered. So let's get into it. How do you empower your crystals? One of the things that I like to do when I get a new crystal, after I've done all my cleansing ritual, well, you'll have your own, is I like to sit with my crystal for a little bit of time. And so sitting with it, not forcing anything, not forcing it to talk to you, not forcing it to do anything. You're not forcing yourself to do anything. You're literally just sitting with it. So just sit with your crystal in the same space. If you want to hold it in your non-dominant hand, you should do that as well. And I say non-dominant is because non-dominant is your receiving hand, and you want to receive whatever message it has for you. If it's ready to, it will give you a message. Sometimes I like to play like meditation music just to kind of get the vibes going, and like a very relaxing experience. So whenever you are creating any type of ritual, make sure you have a good vibe. Make sure you keep creative vibe for it, like some candles. Anything that you do, you want to have the right vibe. And for me, playing music, lighting a candle definitely sets the tune. But now we've created the vibes and the atmosphere is perfect. What you want to do is you want to sit in a chair, and you want to sit with the crystal in your hand with both hands. And then you're just going to close your eyes, and you are going to sit there in a meditative state and just connect. And what I like to do is just kind of say a little prayer, and asking the divine to grant me the possibilities or the ability to connect with this crystal if it's meant to be. And then I just continue to sit there. So during my meditation, it is really important that I am focusing my energy on the crystal. So you want to imagine the crystal in your mind and feel it in your hand, and being very present is really important when you are connecting and setting your intentions with the crystal. So in setting the intentions with the crystal, it is important that you connect to the crystal, and connecting to the crystal happens through visualization of that crystal, and it can happen different ways. So please, there are more ways to skin a cat. Just know these are my practices, and this is how I connect to a crystal. So once I feel like I have connected, and this is a feeling thing with the crystals, I begin setting my intentions. And setting your intentions, you want to make sure you are very, very clear and precise as to what the job is that you are giving your crystal. Your crystal came to you because it wanted a job, and it knew the job that it needed to do was in you. And so with that being said, giving the crystal a job. So here we have my citrine bracelet that I have, that I've charged, cleansed and charged, the same way that I'm telling you today. And when I charged this crystal, or when I started setting intentions with my citrine bracelet, one of the things that was really important to me when charging it was that I would attract people that would pour into me, whether it be financially, whether it be emotionally, spiritually, and in my happiness. I want this citrine to send me or attract the people that will bring all of those things to me. So I was very specific as to what feelings I wanted this crystals to attract. And so far, it's been going. It's been an amazing ride. So I'm super excited that the world of crystals have found you, because in the world of the crystals, we know that our crystals, we do not find our crystals, but the crystals find us. So thank you again for joining me. Make sure you subscribe. Follow me on all social media. I am on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and just know, if there is any crystal that you need, I have a website. It is crystalpiscesstudios.com. I have a lot of crystals available for you to purchase there. So have a great day and be blessed, but most importantly, be amazingly you in everything that you do and in your crystal practice.